I left Madrid airport on a transatlantic flight bound directly for Mexico City. My plane touched down just after dawn, cutting through the dome of fog, mist and pollution that surrounds the city, and I was plunged once again into the beating heart of northern Latin America. Horns blaring, the smell of tacos and exhaust fumes in my nose, and the visceral heat and charge of energy of a city holding more than 20 million people. It's loud, chaotic and electric, and it feels good to be back. I'm going to be here for a couple of months at least, and I already know that city life is only going to satisfy me for so long. I start thinking about leaving the city, and I hatch a plan to buy a cheap 4x4 and drive from north to south of Mexico, just as I'd done 10 years ago during my Pan American Highway expedition. What happens next is like the script for the plot of a movie. I leave the city for what's meant to be 5 days to buy a vehicle and drive it back. That was 45 days ago. I'm still out here in deep, wild Mexico, and things are only getting more bizarre by the day. I'm weathering scam after scam, an attempted kidnapping, high-altitude roads cut into the side of mountains that pass through indigenous psychedelic mushroom towns, and now I'm about to be hit by a Category 4 hurricane. This is the Mexico chapter, and it's going completely off the rails. Steering is basically gone. This turned out to be the most insane off-road recovery situation of my life. A multi-day ordeal that saw me and the Land Cruiser trapped in a remote Galician forest, fighting to escape for days, and forcing me to rely on every trick I know to extricate myself and the vehicle from the bottomless Galician mud. The car is just, again, completely stuck/fog. Oh, shit. This situation is just one part of my attempt to circumnavigate the Iberian Peninsula using only 4x4 tracks. An expedition that I thought would be relatively easy, but it's turning out to be one of the hardest things I've ever done, pushing me to the absolute limits of my skill set, patience and sanity as I battle through some of the hardest off-road on the continent all alone. When I finally managed to pull this vehicle out of the bog hole in Galicia, I was left with inverted front suspension, a CV that had grenaded itself, a shattered front locking hub, a broken brake line, destroyed tie rod ends and bent steering bars. To compound matters, I'm about to be in breach of my 90-day visa inside of the EU, and I have to leave the Schengen zone right now to avoid being deported. Cue dumping the car and all its problems at an RV storage place in Santiago de Compostela and hopping on a hastily arranged flight out of the EU. I'm no stranger to Mexico, having lived in Mexico City for a few years prior to my current expedition. Upon arriving, I dived straight back into the city's vibrant food scene and linked up with my friend Chris to catch up over some of the best tacos you can find in Mexico City.
Alright, so this is tacos. What is this, man?
Steak tacos,
Yeah.
like little crispy bits of steak,
Yeah.
and then bone marrow with sauce on top of it.
Freaking bone marrow, dude, on here. So we're gonna put that bone marrow on the tacos. This stuff is, they have, what do you call that in English? I don't even know.
Spits,
Spits, 3 spits.
bit of meat.
There's 3 spits of meat. And you got like 2 different types of pastor and 1 beef steak. It's like pork and steak. And how you gonna eat that, man?
Oh, like this.
Yeah? Stick it right in there?
They're really, yeah, stick it right in there.
Love that, absolutely love that.
With the absolute decadence of bone marrow on top of these tacos, this is for me a top 3 meal that I've ever had in my life.
Maybe one of the best tacos I've ever had.
Losing my bone,
Losing marrow, bro.
Can't be losing that marrow, brother.
Here, let me help you out.
Oh, baby. Con el limón también.
Mexico City is surrounded by volcanoes, colossal monoliths that tower over the writhing masses that inhabit both Mexico City and Puebla. I got in contact with some local 4x4 groups, and somebody passed me a GPX file for a 4-wheel drive track that would take us up the side of one of these volcanoes. I got to looking deeper into this and discovered a whole maze of tracks around this high-altitude volcanic area. Just so happens that Chris has a vintage 90s Jeep Cherokee. That being the case, I couldn't resist. We hatched a plan to drive up the side of one of these volcanoes. Alright, let's go. Vamos, güey.
Hi, buddy.
I'm out here with the Osmo gimbal.
Osmo gimbal, dude, right here.
Gimbling.
There you go. We are so gimbling.
Gimbal these nuts.
So you want to give some specs on the beast?
Oh, sure. This is a 1997 Jeep Cherokee.
Yeah.
It's like the most base model you can get. It doesn't even have a cassette player.
No cassette, dude.
Everything is manual. All the windows are rolled down. All the locks are manual.
Yeah.
Inline 4.0. Inline 6.
Inline 6. Absolute beast.
4 cylinders. We got 4-wheel drive high and then 4-wheel drive low for when we're going over all those boulders.
Absolute monster, dude.
Yeah, she's beautiful. I love her. She's only got 111,000 miles, and she is the love of my life. She's not fancy or anything, but you know.
Yeah, I know it. I know it.
She looks good.
She does look good.
And she rides good.
She's a beautiful stock base model of a beast.
Absolutely.
So the plan this weekend is there are 2 volcanoes outside of Mexico City that are legendary. Considering that, we thought we might try to drive as far
Let's go up one.
up them as we can.
Let's go up one of these bitches.
Let's just fucking drive up it, right?
Yeah, so one's called Iztaccíhuatl,
Iztaccíhuatl.
and that one's dormant, and the other one's called Popocatépetl, and that one is very active. That shit pops off.
I've seen that thing smoking, eh?
It shit smokes.
Dude, so maybe we should drive up that one.
You know, I don't know. We get hit by a pyroclastic flow. You know what I'm
Just
saying?
the odd errand pyroclastic flow.
Three tourists, 3 idiots died driving up Popocatépetl, hit with a rogue pyroclastic flow.
Yeah, they'll probably recover this tape actually, like Blair Witch style.
They're gonna play this at our funerals. Love you, Mom.
Yeah,
love you, Dad.
love you guys. Yeah. Sorry we died in the pyroclastic flow.
With the plan confirmed, we pushed the vehicle out into the wild traffic of Friday night in Mexico City, on the way to go pick up our friend Pike to complete the team.
Pike.
We're filming, buddy. This is your introduction.
What's up, buddy boy?
Yeah, good.
Come over, man.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. We're in Pike's Pit. Right outside. We've just about got Pike. He's going to get his sleeping bag up on the roof, and now we've finally managed to actually exit the building where we're parked. Like, so this is Pike, man.
What is going on?
Yeah, so he's part of the team. We're gonna try to drive up this fucking volcano.
We're doing that.
We're doing that, eh?
I guess. We're supposed to, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
this is the dream team, bro.
I don't really get it. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Friday, 5:26 p.m.
5:26 p.m.
Mexico City. Just to get out of the city, it will be crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
It's horrible. It's
Yeah.
gonna be horrible.
We'll get some beers for the road.
100%.
So we'll do that, and then tomorrow we'll drive up a volcano, basically.
100%.
I want out. I want to breathe the air.
Clean air.
Yeah.
As Pike had rightly pointed out, getting out of the city is going to be a mission in of itself. Never mind the plan to drive up a volcano the following day.
We're talking right now, dear viewer, about this setup.
Real sick phone holder.
It's a sick phone holder, bro.
Yeah, but it's horizontal.
It's actually way better, man. And
It's a lot better.
yeah, and Pike rightly pointed out that actually I have mine vertically, which you probably know, and is shit.
Why would you do that? Like,
I don't know.
there is so much like data and information that you're missing out.
Yeah, I mean,
You're
it's
missing out. Just
self-flagellation for absolutely no reason. So I also have like a central console thing here, like, you know, but it doesn't do navigation. I could have it there, but I don't.
We carried on weaving through the city traffic, heading towards the entrance of a motorway flyover that will hopefully allow us to leave the city more efficiently.
Right, so we're getting on the highly exclusive upper level. Yeah, the Autobahn de Mexico City, yeah? Dream machine, bro. It runs beautifully, eh?
It's smooth.
It's so smooth.
She's not very quick, but
Yeah, but that's okay.
I feel like the fastest like speed that you get on your rig.
Mine could go 120. At 120, mine, it would feel like it's gonna rattle itself apart.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's horrible.
dude,
Just before I came here, I was driving through Santiago to drop my car off at a place where I was going to leave it, and my exhaust fell off, and I drove over to my back wheels. And then I had to drive through Santiago, like a really quiet city with no muffler on, with a 4.2. Dude, I felt like such a dick.
Yours is also inline 6?
Inline 6, 4.2, man. Big, you know.
Bigger than this.
Hey, can we drink a beer now?
We cracked some beers and settled into the journey to watch the sights of the city fly by from our vantage point above.
Mexican telenovelas and stuff there. All the famous studios are right behind this building.
Okay, cool. So they're doing all the telenovelas and stuff right in there. That's sick.
I used to watch, my family used to watch the ones from Brazil.
What are they like?
Selva de Cemento, concrete jungle.
Selva de Cemento.
That was the name of it.
Yeah.
Concrete jungle.
But are they actually good, or is it more ironic?
No.
They're trash.
No.
But they're corny. But they're corny.
No. What are you talking about?
It's all drama, right? Like
Super dramatic.
Yeah.
You have no idea what you're talking about. This was amazing.
Yeah.
This is the best type of cinema in South America. Brazilian telenovelas are fucking amazing.
But make the case for it, Pike. You're going out there on a fucking limb here.
This was beautiful.
Yeah, but you're not giving me any details, bro.
Yeah, why is it good?
No, but I don't remember though. You know. I know that I actually got to my house 1:30 in the afternoon, and I had 3 girls that just waiting for me just to watch Selva de Cemento at 1:30.
So it helps you get laid.
No. They were the girls that worked in my house. Like,
Oh, okay.
cooked the food and shit.
This story is fucking all over. Oh, the bandera, man.
Ooh, that's a big boy.
Yeah, she a big one.
Just turned off.
Oh shit, dude. Nice. Well done.
It does that every once in a
Yeah,
while.
it does that. So here's the thing about the car is that sometimes it just turns off randomly in the middle of the road. Bro,
It turns right back on.
and it turns right back on. That is actually quite stirring.
It is, right?
It really is. Viva Mexico, bro.
Yeah.
Man, that's sick with the mountains in the background. What a shot. Bro, it's actually really difficult to ascertain the scale of that, eh?
Yeah, no, that shit is huge.
Like, how many car lengths is that thing, man? It's fucking massive. Like.
Cielito lindo, vienen bajando un par de ojitos negros, cielito lindo de contrabando.
Alright, we're going up.
Alright, this is it. Autopista, baby.
You gotta be careful here.
What?
Very, very windy roads.
I see, yeah.
Super fast. This is the fastest I've ever seen this car.
I'm going 80.
80 Ks? Yeah.
The plan as it stands is to follow the highway out of Mexico City and head due south to the town of Tepoztlan in the state of Morelos. There, our other friend Bartek has some land that we can camp on just outside of the town, and we'll use that as a staging point for our mission up the volcano the following day.
So this is apparently a very famous,
Incredibly dangerous curve.
very dangerous curve.
So I'm gonna get in front of this truck.
Yeah. Curva peligrosa. Man, they really have the signs here. This is red all around. People die on this, eh?
Oh yeah.
Man,
I feel like I think there's accidents every day.
wow.
Yeah.
Crazy thing.
We navigated La Pera without incident, surviving another day to tell the story, as we entered the state of Morelos just as the sun dipped below the mountainous horizon. But little did we know at that time, something more dangerous was stirring on the volcanic plateau just across the horizon. The volcano Popocatépetl began to erupt, kick-starting a phase of unusually high volcanic activity, throwing gases, plumes of smoke, and a column of ash into the air, a display of volcanic might visible from the cities of Puebla and Mexico City alike. We arrived in Tepoztlan just after sundown, and just in time for a DJ set at Bartek's Cafe, where we cracked open a couple more beers and some mezcales to bring in the weekend the right way.
Your sleeping bag's down there.
Right, so here's the situation. We're at Bartek's land. It's the land of dog shit, and we tried to set up the tent. So help us God.
Imagine a field just absolutely full of dog shit, but then
Full.
What you're thinking about, triple it.
Triple it, yeah.
And now that you're thinking about that, triple that again, dude. Because literally everywhere I'm stepping in dog shit. I have a shit from yesterday. I have a shit from 2 weeks ago.
We do have our friend Pike setting up
over here.
a one-man tent or a two-man tent.
Yeah, we're going in that.
Yeah, we're probably almost certainly going to be in.
Thank God for Pike.
Having heard about the explosive activity at the volcanoes back in Tepoztlan, we realised there was pretty well no chance of us driving up there the following day. And so, armed with a bottle of mezcal, we saw in the sunrise at a remarkable place, the weird and beautiful high desert in the mountains surrounding Tepoztlan, supposedly the birthplace of Quetzalcoatl, the sacred serpent god of the Aztecs. We saw in a lazy morning in the weird desert tranquility of Bartek's land and hanging out with some of the perpetrators of Dogshit City. This guy's one of a pack of stray dogs that Bartek has rescued over the years and now live with him up here on the mountain. We then headed back down to Tepoztlan itself, one of those rare places with enigmatic gravitas, once settled by Xochimilca, Toltec and Chichimec cultures, and eventually conquered by the Aztecs and only after that the Spanish during the European conquest. This rich history spanning millennia has left an indelible mark on the town. We spent the morning hanging out on the colonial streets of the town, waiting for news from the volcanic east, and sampling some of the world-famous food of Morelos. Just outside of Tepoztlan is Ranching Area, renowned for having the best cecina, salted beef in the country. As we continued to while away the hours in Tepoztlan, the volcanic eruptions over in the east got even more violent, with Popocatépetl throwing plumes of dust, smoke and gases up into the air in an eruption that began to make headlines even outside of Mexico. Given the violence and severity of these volcanic eruptions, it became clear that we weren't going to be able to accomplish our mission this weekend. But nevertheless, this experience had set things in motion for me that could not be stopped. It had opened my eyes to the sheer amount of incredible tracks and trails available to do in Mexico, and it changed the way I thought about living in Mexico forever. Riding around in Chris's Jeep had me wanting a 4x4 here myself, and knowing that I was going to be here for at least 3 months, I opened Facebook Marketplace and started looking for a 4x4 of my own. Chris, Pike and I took the long road back to Mexico City on the Sunday, and I was already obsessively sifting through listing after listing, lining up potential vehicles to buy, and getting acquainted with the used vehicle market in Mexico. Or so I thought. After looking through a myriad listings, I settled on one particular vehicle, a 90s Toyota pickup with a 22RE engine. It looked to be in great condition, for sale for $4,000 American in the state of Michoacan. Over the next few weeks back in the city, things changed pretty rapidly. Amid the chaos, street food and beers, I met a girl, and we became inseparable pretty quickly. I arranged with the seller of the truck to meet him in Guadalajara, and I booked a flight to the city for both of us, intending to go, pick up the vehicle, and drive it back, returning to the city over the course of a few weeks, on what I imagined would be an epic road trip. We hopped on the flight with hardly a second thought, leaving Mexico City for Guadalajara, out to the northwest. As the plane cut through the haze of heat and pollution, and we immersed ourselves in the wild culture of Guadalajara, I could have no idea of the chaos that was just around the corner. Okay, get your stuff together. We have to leave right now. Something bad's happened.